Overnight Trip to Cairo from Port Said Port by Alice Phillips, American travel blogger. Day 1, from Port Said to the timeless pyramids and the mystique of Saqqara. The moment I stepped off the ship in Port Said, I was greeted by a warm Egyptian sun and the smiling face of a Memphis Tours rep holding a sign with my name. There's something oddly thrilling about seeing your name in a foreign port. It makes you feel like the star of your own travel film. We set off in a private, air-conditioned vehicle and began the 3-hour journey to Cairo. The road unfurled like a desert ribbon, stretching through dusty towns and palm-fringed fields. I had a bottle of cold water in hand and my heart brimming with anticipation. This was it. Cairo was calling. Our first stop, the majestic Giza Plateau, home to the pyramids of Cheops, Chephren, and Mycerinus. I had seen these structures in countless photos and documentaries, but standing there in their presence, my breath genuinely caught in my throat. Cheops towered above everything, a weathered yet indomitable guardian of the sands. I walked around the plateau, the stone crunching beneath my sandals, dwarfed by thousands of years of ambition and genius. And then came the Sphinx, mysterious, serene, ageless. Its lion body and human face were smaller than I expected, but far more emotive. It watches over the Valley Temple, where I stood quietly for a moment, absorbing the silence and the timelessness. Lunch was served at a local restaurant nearby. Spiced kofta, tahini, warm baladi bread, authentic, flavorful, and the perfect way to refuel before our next chapter. In the afternoon, we journeyed to Saqqara. This was an entirely different kind of magic, ancient, windblown, and eerie. The step pyramid of Djoser, the very first pyramid ever built, rose like a jagged staircase to the sky. I ran my fingers along the sun-warmed limestone, knowing I was touching a milestone of human history. The air here felt quieter, more contemplative. It was less about grandeur and more about the origins, the beginning of all pyramid-building ambition. As evening settled over Cairo, I checked into a 5-star hotel, exhausted and utterly spellbound. Summary of the day. Touching the sun-warmed stones of the step pyramid of Djoser made me feel like I was reaching back in time to the very roots of civilization. Day 2, from the future of museums to the treasures of the past. After a good night's sleep and a hearty breakfast, Day 2 began with a visit I had long dreamed about, the Grand Egyptian Museum, GEM. Though not yet fully open to the public, the areas we were allowed to see were jaw-dropping. The Grand Hall was airy and monumental, filled with light and promise. I wandered through the main galleries, gaping at the colossal statues and intricately preserved relics. The grand staircase felt like ascending into history itself, with artifacts lined like silent sentinels along the way. The exterior gardens offered a brief moment of reflection. I sat there for a while, just gazing at the distant pyramids and thinking, this is Egypt reimagined. Next, we lunched at another authentic Egyptian spot, a different menu but equally rich. I could get used to Egyptian cuisine. Then came the classic, the Egyptian Museum in downtown Cairo. This place is the beating heart of Egyptology. As I entered, the scent of antiquity filled the air, dust, papyrus, aged stone. Overlooking Tahrir Square, the museum was dim and a little chaotic, but gloriously so. I stood in front of Tutankhamun's golden mask and felt a deep reverence. The jewelry, sarcophagi, statues, and everyday objects, every piece whispered stories from millennia ago. I took my time here, not wanting to leave. It wasn't just a museum, it was a sacred archive of humanity. As the tour ended, we drove back to Port Said in our air-conditioned vehicle. The sun was setting behind us, painting the desert sky in pink and orange. Summary of a day. Standing beneath the colossal staircase of the Grand Egyptian Museum, I felt like I was witnessing the future of how we'll remember the past.